The palettes for spring of 2014 are really quite remarkable for next year, I think, because they show a sense of equilibrium. There's a wonderful sense of balance between the light colors, the pastels that are very soft, the bright colors that add a lot of energy, and in between you have some neutrals that are a great bridge between those two areas of color. So you have colors that will mix very well, but in addition to that, they stand very well on their own at the same time. Very, very creative palette, and I'm going to show you what each one of those colors are for both women's and men's for spring of 2014. Placid Blue is our first color. It is a wonderful color because I think we've all learned that blue in the background, if we look at blue in nature, this particular shade of Placid Blue, we are accustomed to the fact that it can be a background to every other color in nature. And so a rather unconventional usage of blue as a neutral color. And so if we think of blue as neutral, we see that it will not only stand on its own for its own picture-perfect, tranquil, reassuring, peaceful calmness, but at the same time, it is a color that will work with every other color in the spectrum. Next, we have a color called Violet Tulip. Now, this color has a bit of nostalgia that's attached to it. It's what we might call a vintage color because it evokes kind of a wistful nostalgia attached to it. It, too, is a color that will stand all by itself or will combine with all the other colors that you're going to be seeing in just a moment. Hemlock is next, and Hemlock, just like Placid Blue, is now being understood, as are all of the green family, that they can be used as a neutral color. They are, in fact, beautiful background colors that work well with every other color in the spectrum. They are verdant, they remind us of springtime, they remind us of foliage, and they're what we might call an ornamental green, meaning that they will serve well as an accent to many, many other colors. Next, we have sand. Now, sand is just one of those toasty, amicable, neutral, beach and carefree days, kind of spring and summertime. We literally can feel the warmth when we walk across that shade of sand. A great color for combining with your other colors, and yet a color that really has this feeling of toast and a wonderful sense that we can feel very comfortable in a color called sand. Next is Paloma. Now, we know that the grays are the quintessential neutral colors, and Paloma, which is such a beautiful word to say, which is really another word for dove, has the same kind of softness, the same kind of idea that even though it is a neutral color, we could literally base an outfit on this color and feel very comforted and comfortable in it. The next is Cayenne. Now, Cayenne is, what can I tell you, high-pitched, it's a dash of spicy energy, and this is where we start getting our bright colors into the mix that will bounce off the neutrals and the light tones and make for some very interesting combinations. Freesia is next. Freesia, blazing, illumination, tropical, floral-inspired. It is warm, it is energetic, it is that spot of sunshine that lights up the entire palette. Next, we have a color that I just love to say, Celeste Orange. It really is a lovely, very spontaneous, very optimistic orange without looking like a popsicle orange. And so it has a bit of sophistication that's attached to it as well. Next, we have Radiant Orchid, which truly, the name really describes it. It's a bold counterpart to the Violet Tulip that we saw as the second color that I mentioned to you, a color that will definitely stand alone because it has a certain sense of drama and a beautiful illuminating quality that is attached to it. Last, we have a color called Dazzling Blue. Now, how can we do springtime without some shade of blue? But this is a little more interesting than just another navy blue. It does, like the other colors I just mentioned, have sort of a sparkle. We might refer to it as a scintillating blue. It's the polar opposite of the blue that we saw at the very beginning of my talk, because it has kind of an excitement that's attached to it. So where the placid blue has a quietness, the dazzling blue tells us that even blue can be electric.